Lord Furder told me to bring them to you. My boys tell me you're in need of assistance. Sid II?
He knows.
I won't waste your time. I need passage through the south gate.
What's so funny?
Tell me, what do you think is a merchant's most important commodity? Why, trust. Everyone knows that. Without it, you have nothing. And nothing is exactly what you have. And so for you, I too have nothing.
All right, what do we
I'm
want?
not in the business of helping every lost puppy that wanders in off the street. I'm a busy man, as you can see.
You're sitting around doing nothing.
Let's leave this mummer to his
How is this
farce.
busy?
By all means. Find someone else to help you on your way. Just be sure to tell them you're not the two travelers from the inn the guards are looking for. Don't want them jumping to conclusions, do we?
Why, you...
This sounds like
So-
blackmail.
What do we need to do to earn your trust?
I like this one. Willing to do whatever it takes to get what he wants.
Well, maybe not everything, but close.
Men like you have a special place in my heart. Why, you ask? Because they get me what I want.
You want the sword,
Always.
right?
Fine. So what do you want?
Don't tell me you're going to listen to this swaggering scruff.
We might as well hear him out. It's only natural that an ally of Sid's would seek assurances of strangers.
Yeah.
Assuming he is an ally, of course. 5 years ago, he would have still been a boy.
And yet even then I had more good sense than a man, 5 times my age? But enough of the pleasantries. We were speaking of what I want. I want you to put an end to the trouble in Dalimil.
How?
Return to me when you have done so, and you shall have my aid. Until then, I bid you good day.
Well, I didn't...
What trouble?
Yeah,
If you're
exactly.
going to give us orders, be clear about them, damn you.
Manners, Greybeard. One catches more damselflies with honey than with vinegar.
You're even catching more
What
with
did
manure.
you
What's your
call
point?
me?
My apologies. A word of advice in recompense. Follow the crystals. Oh, but that was 3. Oh, I'm making this too easy for you.
Huh? Don't talk in riddles.
Ha! It will be easy. Solving his little riddle should be like dealing with him. Child's play. Let us divide our forces, Clive. I'd rather not drag this parlor game on any longer than we need to.
All right. Good luck, Uncle.
Yeah, that was
I
just...
thought we were the only ones causing trouble in Dalimil.
Okay, speak with the townspeople. Yeah, just FYI, the little thing with the manure was a reference to Big Bang Theory. And Sheldon.
I'm just saying you can catch more flies with honey than with vinegar.
You can catch even more flies with manure. What's your point?
Yeah, very funny. Okay, so... Right, then we're going to all these places, talk to these people, and then see what we need to do. Oh, what do we have here? For the best drop in Dalimil, visit the final sting. Aha.
Excuse me. Is it true there's been trouble with crystals of late?
You've heard, then?
I've heard rumors.
Yeah, vaguely.
Damn thieves.
Thieves.
Pilfering the crystals that were meant
Oh,
to fill cups and light
I know
our
where we need to go.
stoves. Us common folk have hardly had a shard to share between us these last few moons. And it isn't as if we can buy them on the black market either. Whoever's taking them, they aren't sharing.
You've seen it on the map. Wait, you have to go up there. Bandits something. Bandits bet. I think we have to go up there and then find them soon.
Do you have a moment?
Depends what for.
Just a question. Dalimil seems to be thriving compared to the other villages I came through on the way. Is there a reason for that?
Well, we're a stone's throw from Drake's Fang, for one. The soldiers guarding the Mother Crystal and the shipments need a place to spend their hard-earned gil. The men of the Rock throw their money about like there's no tomorrow.
Is that so? Well, thank you. Don't let me keep you from your work any longer.
And then there's just one more.
How much you gave me? What can I do for you, soldier? Need that sword polishing?
I'm not a soldier.
Ugh, then be off with you. I serve the men of the Rock and the men of the Rock only.
You have an agreement with them?
Don't be stupid. I just know which side my bread is buttered. Don't want to be stuck under some pauper when they come knocking, with pockets deeper than Zemeckis and an urge to empty them. No, just leave, will you? Before you scare them off.
She was not helpful.
I think I'm starting to get an idea of what's been going on. I wonder if Uncle Byron's learned anything of use. He'll probably be back at the inn by now.
It's you, the one who broke all our furniture.
We paid for
What
it.
do you want? Haven't you caused enough trouble already?
We
I'm
paid
looking
for
my
it.
pal. Have you seen him?
The gentleman who was with you? Yes, he's upstairs, but
But
Thank you. I'll go and fetch him.
don't tell me he's getting pleasured. Well, I'm doing the dirty work. Okay, somewhere. Yeah, somewhere here.
Huh?
Oh, he's talking to. Wait, what? The hell?
Will this suffice as a deposit?
By the sands. That's a black pearl.
One of the many treasures in my collection that I would be only too happy to part with, should you give me reason to do so.
All right. I'm sure that we can
He's
come to
bribing
an
him.
agreement.
That won't
But
work.
not here.
Yeah, we will get ambushed when we go to another
What
place.
are you doing, Uncle?
That seems kinda obvious to me.
Care to explain why you're giving gifts to Kupka's men?
Bait, my boy.
Bait?
One cannot catch one's prey without it. And I do believe I've snagged us quite the quarry. I started by asking around the markets as to where I might purchase crystals. I had no luck, of course. It's forbidden to trade in such things. But my uncharacteristic indiscretion just happened to attract the attention of those uniformed ruffians. They took me aside and said they could procure the crystal I sought if I proved I could pay for it.
So the pearl was your proof?
I thought they'd asked for more. A second-rate specimen like that would only fetch 500,000 or so.
The fuck?
A small price to pay for admittance to the underworld. But enough about my little act of subterfuge. What did you discover?
That the supply of crystals has dried up of late. And some people seem to think they're being stolen. Meanwhile, members of Kupka's private guard have been spending money all over town. I'll wager those soldiers you've been talking to have been siphoning off crystals meant for elsewhere, and pocketing the profits.
I'll wager you're right.
We'll meet with them then,
So I was wrong.
just as you arranged, and put an end to the trouble Lubor spoke of.
Ha! That preening popinjay thought this would be difficult. It just goes to show one should never underestimate a Rosfield. We'll soon wipe that smirk off his face. I arranged to meet with the soldiers in a secluded corner of the Velcroy, far from prying eyes.
The perfect place for a spot of double dealing.
I trust I can count on your support if things turn sour.
Of course.
Of course.
Nice, nice. Ah, we're going over there. So we're going through here, and then we're gonna explore this area, and then, yeah, follow the crystals. Okay, quite a big area. Yeah, let's get started. Yeah, again, I don't see any chests. So, let's just make our way over to the mark where we need to go.
I'll take it from here.
That's a lot of shards.
I was beginning to think you weren't coming, my lord. You've brought your contribution?
All the silver and stones I could scrape together at such short notice?
You brought the whole 500 talents.
That was the price we agreed upon, yes? If you've no objections, I'd like to see the crystal.
Of course. Right this way, my lord.
Not bad at all. You weren't lying about the clarity. But what of security? If I were to be stopped on the road, what guarantee have I that it wouldn't be seized as property of the Republic?
Because these crystals are no longer the property of the Republic. You're not buying from us.
Huh?
You're buying from them.
Them?
And we have no more jurisdiction here than you, my lord. But we have ships, and will gladly deliver to a port of your choosing, now that our price has been met.
Royalists, eh? What brings you here?
Why, to collect their share of Fang's blessing, of course. Our nations are allies, and so they are entitled to a portion of the Mother Crystal's bounty. And being such good friends, we elected to increase that portion and share the benefits. And now that these crystals are officially property of the Kingdom of Waloed, we are duty-bound not to interfere, no matter where they might happen to end up next.
Did you get all that? They're in cahoots!
Yeah.
So it would seem.
My lord, what is the meaning of this?
Double-crossing dogs. They're not here to do business. Kill them. Kill them both!
Anyone else? Ah, come on, Torgal, finish it.
Torgal, kill!
Good. I just told him to.
Well, that wasn't too bad.
True.
How'd you like my performance, huh? I've often played the villain on the stage. I think I did the role justice. Don't you?
Greybeard, you were magnificent. The battle scene was particularly thrilling. Such a shame you didn't have more of an audience, but perhaps that's for the best.
How long have you been watching?
Long
The
enough
whole
to
time.
witness your uncle's sordid transaction. I hardly expected one so venerable to degrade himself so thoroughly, buying one's way into the confidence of degenerates. Ingenious.
This was the trouble you spoke of. The men of the Rock taking crystals meant for the common folk and conspiring with the Royalists. Well, now it's over.
Indeed it is. The people of Dalimil had scarcely any means of redress against Kupka's men, let alone a foreign army. Until you two came along, that is. Well, we'd better get these crystals back to town. You won't mind waiting with them while I fetch a wagon.
Sometime later.
It occurs to me that I still don't know your name.
Clive.
So, Sid the Second is a Clive. I suppose it could have been worse.
What's so funny about that?
Clive, you held up your end of the bargain, so I must do the same. Passage through the South Gate, was it not? To tell the truth, you've helped a little there too. Many of the guards have already been redeployed to deal with the issue of their missing comrades. And those left behind have been encouraged to look the other way should you attempt to pass through.
Thank you. And please allow me to cover your costs. You still have the purse I gave to the soldiers, I trust? I saw you pluck it from one of the bodies.
Oh, dear. Was I really so obvious?
And my name is not Greybeard. It is Lord Byron Rosfield, thank you very much.
No, thank you very much, Greybeard.
Of all the... Ugh!
Yeah, this dude reminds me a little bit of Aladdin.
Here,
Stealing
wear
and
this.
stuff. Another seal, the Desert Rose.
Any friend of mine who sees you with it shall be a friend of yours.
Thank you, Lubo.
And please, feel free to send one of my Stoluses back to your people. Tell them that Rosina Dalimil is back in bed with Sid.
Umia Lostelan. Tu Isakelis.
I'm trusting you, Sid. Or should I say, Clive? So be sure not to let me down. I have a reputation to uphold. Well then, I wish you a safe journey south.
Thank you.
Not at all. It was my pleasure.
Come on, Uncle. Let's go.
Ah, we're done with Follow the Crystals. Yes. And we should be able to see some more rewards from some patrons, because we have over 350 renown. I can still talk to him. He still has some... No, the side quest is behind there. Okay, let's talk to him.
What is it now?
Let's talk about the crystal trade.
How very fitting.
That the noble soldiers of Dalmekia and the Lute, partners in arms on so many battlefields, should also become partners in crime. Still, the merchants of Dalimil will be relieved to see them brought to justice. Many have been driven almost to ruin for want of crystal. I'm sure they would all be rushing to thank you for the service you have done them, if, of course, they had any idea what you had done.
Of course.
As long as we remain reliant on the power of the crystals, we leave ourselves open to such exploitation. But people are such greedy, needy creatures.
There's simply no other way.
Clive, you must bring down each and every mother crystal in the twins and put an end to the people's thoughtless dependence upon them. Do try not to disappoint me. Dalimil Inn.
Ours is a blessed corner of the Velcroy.
A veritable oasis with clear running water and natural hot springs. I don't doubt that people have been gathering here since long before the founding of the Republic. Since it was founded, they've been gathering in even greater numbers to serve the needs of the miners who worked Drake's Fang and the soldiers who guard it. And serve them they did, lining their coffers far from the prying eyes and grasping fingers of the Republican excisemen. Not that edicts from Randala carry much weight in these parts. Dalimil has long been something of a law unto itself. Here, those with the most money or the most friends make the rules.
At least they did.
Until Kupka built that castle of his at the heart of the Mother Crystal, Dalimil has been Titan's fiefdom since then. And while his men may be liberal with their coin, they are anything but in the exercising of their authority, which, as I'm sure I don't need to tell you, is absolute.
So,
you see why those with the people's best interests at heart took it upon themselves to organize their own protection, my predecessor chief among them. And about him.
You and I
have more in common than you might think. Not only are we both masters of the blade and devilishly handsome to boot, but we are both the second people to bear our respective names.
What?
You didn't think Rosanna Dalimil was my own invention, did you? It was the name of my master. I inherited it from her, along with her title and her smithy. Ensuring that her name lived on was the least I could do after all she did for me. She plucked me from the streets and put my less than nimble fingers to work, making blades instead of trouble.
Alas.
She was to leave my life as suddenly and unexpectedly as she had entered it. I swore to follow in her footsteps, that I might change others' lives as she had mine. That is why I keep her forge alive, why I play the Desert Hare, why I care for the orphans of Dalimil. Indeed, I had thought my obligations to Renz and Drika to be my most pressing concern. That is until the infamous Cid made a surprise reappearance, rather muddied the waters.
Still?
I suppose there's enough of me to go around, but do forgive me if the Desert Hare isn't always at your beck and call, won't you? Okay.
Don't be a stranger.
Right, we do have 2 side quests right here, but I wanna go back where we fought. Was it? I think it was down here, right? And then we're gonna go over there as well, just to see where this goes. Before we make our way south through the gate. Before we actually do the side quest and then south of the gate. Right, this is a dead end. So, yeah, then we're going back here, take a look at the side quests and do these right away.
Perhaps Forge Master Luber's having fun at my expense.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Neither would I.
Oh, wait. Are you Clive?
Sorry, my mind was elsewhere. I'm Sava, Master Luber's least accomplished apprentice.
Why would you say it like that?
Apprentice if I don't pass this test. Maybe I'm just not the resourceful type. People are buying up weapons faster than the Briar's Kiss can forge them, and here I am, unable to make a decent bit of kitchenware. He wants me to make a carving knife, one that embodies the spirit of Dalimil. Whatever that's supposed to mean. I don't suppose you have any idea what he's on about, do you?
I'm not from here, I have no idea.
Never mind. Thought I'd ask. It was that or pack my bags.
I could give you a hand if you like. I know how busy the Briar's Kiss has been, and that Lubor needs all the capable hands he can find.
I'd be a fool to refuse.
So, where do we start?
Good question. If I'm honest, I've never made any kind of knife before. And then there's this little riddle to keep in mind. The spirit of Dalimil. Nothing is ever simple with that man.
Maybe you need to...
The way I see it, there's only one way we'll be solving Lubor's puzzle. We need information. The more the better.
You're right.
Steal something.
There's no point fumbling in the dark, I suppose. Now, who to speak to first? Well, there's plenty of folk in Dalimil who use knives for a living. There's the butcher, of course, and any number of cooks. They're bound to have an opinion or two about the tools of their trade. All right. I think we have a plan. Let's get to it, shall we?
So why do you need
every
me?
Cook I can find. You speak to the butcher, and anyone else you can think of.
All right.
Okay.
Good luck.
Let's hope that someone says something useful.
Well, to be honest, you are the apprentice. You should ask everybody and then just do your work, right? Why am I supposed to talk to someone?
Trust Lubor to take a simple test and turn it into a riddle. I'd better get to it.
Yeah.
Welcome, sir. What can I do you for?
A question, if you don't mind. I need to know what makes a good carving knife.
You a blacksmith or something?
Something, I suppose.
Fair enough. Knives, is it? First and foremost, it's got to hold an edge. Most knives will make it through fat, no problem, but sinew dulls cheap steel in no time. Give me a blade which can slice through anything that crosses my chopping block, and I'm a happy woman.
So a knife that
Obviously.
stays sharp. Makes sense.
Yeah. That's easy. Easy to know, actually.
Ah, they've opened the gate.
Lubor was true to his word.
Sure, but we are still gonna finish this one first. Who else am I supposed to ask? I just see the new quest givers. But nobody else. Who are we looking for? I've been all around the area. There's no one else to talk to. Huh? Doesn't make sense. Okay, it's not the one to the right. It has to be this one then.
What is it? I'm in no mood for chatter.
Sorry. Do you mind if I ask your trade?
Hunter, why?
I have a question. Can you tell me what makes a good carving knife?
Interesting, because the symbol was different.
You use one out in the field.
Oh. Has to be able to put up with some punishment. Can't be dealing with a brittle blade, not while I'm on the hunt. If your knife snaps every time you use it, you'll be spending coin as fast as you make it. Times are hard enough as it is.
Thank you. I won't keep you any longer.
All business, eh? Man after my own heart.
Again, this is quite obvious. It has to be very sharp, it has to stay sharp, and it is not supposed to break.
And hold an edge.
Yeah.
Hardly a revelation.
Exactly.
Let's hope Sava had better luck than I did.
That felt so useless, talking to these people.
Lights and pots!
So, how'd it go?
Awful.
You learn anything useful, or should I be looking for a new
Useful,
trade?
yes, but nothing new.
Only that a blade should be durable and stay sharp. But I don't see how that relates to the spirit of Dalimil.
I didn't have much luck either. All the cook said was that he needs his knives to be light.
Well, that's
Too
something
heavy
special.
And they do his shoulder in.
So we're no better off than when we started. Perhaps Lubor didn't mean anything with his Dalimil remark. But that can't be right. I've bandied enough words with the man to know that he chooses them carefully. No. We must be missing something. Something right in front of our noses, most likely.
No doubt you're right, but I have to make a start soon. I can't put off making this knife forever.
Agreed. Lubor wouldn't like that much.
Right. I've been trained to work iron. The cheap stuff, mind. But it's hardy enough if you don't hammer it too thin, and it sharpens up nicely with a bit of effort. Trouble is, it's either durable or it's light.
So you need some
Meaning
different
someone
material.
is going to be disappointed. Forge Master Lubor, probably.
Is there no one else you can turn to? Someone who knows their metals, perhaps?
The other apprentices know better than to help me with my test. But maybe there is someone I could turn to. A merchant, a favorite of Forge Master Lubor's, who sells metals to tradesmen passing through the Valcroy. I bet she'd know a thing or two.
Don't tell me I have to talk to them. Really? Okay. Oh, this is quite a way to go. 300 something. Ah, over there. Okay, okay, I know. Yeah, to be honest, I don't mind those side quests, but this is kind of dull, actually. And it seems like 2 steps too many.
Any luck? Or will you be needing help with your bags?
Well, I asked her, but... you tell him.
If you're looking to make a knife that will impress a master like Lubor, there are options. They're just not that viable. Featherlight adamantite knives will get passed from generation to generation, never needing so much as a lick of the whetstone.
Cool.
But adamantite ore is unique to ash, so doesn't come cheap.
Okay.
And it's beyond my skill to handle.
Unique to ash. Are there any materials unique to Dalimil? Something which could be mixed with iron to refine it. Make it lighter.
What are you getting at?
You said that Lubor trained you to work iron. Then that's what he'll expect you to use. But he would have known that it would either be too heavy or too brittle for a carving knife. Perhaps his Dalimil remark wasn't a riddle, but a hint.
If it's cheap metal you're using, then there's always limestone, I suppose. Folk first settled Dalimil to get at her mineral deposits. And, if you know the trick, it can be melted down in the furnace to drive out impurities from low-quality iron.
Bloody hell. That must be it!
And these two go together?
You know the tricks,
Limestone and iron? Really?
It's hardly my speciality, but I've been around enough blacksmiths to know how it works.
Looks like I've got some learning to do. Clive,
You don't say.
I hate to ask after all that you've done for me.
What else do you need?
Limestone?
Mm-hmm.
Fine. I can hardly abandon you now. Besides, I want to know if this is the answer to Lubor's little riddle.
I can't thank you enough, Clive. You'll have no trouble finding limestone over in the terraces. The place is bloody made of it.
Then I suppose I'll meet you back at the forge.
Right you are. I'll see you shortly.
Okay, then on we go. Gotta be kidding me. All the way at the end. Okay. Then let's go there.
We can make our way back to the Fang
okay,
at least.
I didn't want to go through the south gate yet, but we will have to.
Ah, I'm not too late.
What is it, Lubor?
A question that I neglected to ask earlier. Where is it that you're bound?
To Drake's Fang. To finish Hugo Kupka.
Just as I thought. Then allow me to share a secret. Drake's Fang is currently riddled with royalists.
I was expecting as
Solmeki and
much.
Waloed are allies, and as you have seen, their soldiers work hand in glove. But no nation has ever before allowed a foreign army to make a barracks of its holiest of holies.
Not by choice, at least.
And there's more. My man on the inside of the Fang has failed to report for several days. I fear there may be more trouble lying in wait for you on the road ahead.
Isn't there always?
Exactly.
If you're determined to beard the lion's den, then promise me one thing. That you will enter via the mines, where the guard is lightest.
Okay. Thanks.
I've lost one Cid already. If I lose another, people will start to think me careless.
I don't plan on dying. Not before Kupka does, anyway.
Well, so long as you have a plan.
I wouldn't call it a plan. So, limestone. Over there. Doesn't have terraces.
Drake's Fang should be just beyond these springs. Shall we press on?
In a bit. Let me just collect the stuff and then bring it back. And then we still have one more side quest, at least. Good. That's all of it.
It's a lot like another. But hopefully this is what Sava needs. I wasn't sure how much you'd need, but I hope this is enough.
You are one of the good ones, you know that. You and that merchant both, she's got quite a gift for teaching that one. Now, time to see if limestone is the secret weapon we were hoping for.
Sometime later.
That'll do, I reckon.
This does
A
not
knife
look sharp
forged
whatsoever.
From the very rocks of Dalimil. Her spirit, if you will.
It's a fine-looking blade.
I don't think so. It's not a blade.
I only hope Master Lubor agrees.
That sounds like my cue. And just as well. I was getting tired of waiting.
I'm sorry, Forge Master Lubor.
Let's take a look then, shall we? First things first, Sava, do you think this is a carving knife worthy of the fine people of Dalimil?
I'd like to think so. But what do you think?
What do I think indeed? It's sharp-ish. But
yeah.
it won't last long with hard
Ragged
use.
edges.
And it's heavy. Heavier than it should be. You might not think it just to hold it for a moment, but sell that to a cook and you'll never hear the end of it. It looks like someone paid a visit to the terraces. The limestone was a step in the right direction, granted, but one that still leaves you short of the mark.
And I was so certain I had it all worked out.
I don't know who you found to teach you that little trick, but it certainly shows initiative. Next question. How much do you think I would charge if I'd made this?
Well, if it took you even a fraction of the time it took me, I would say you could demand a heavy purse.
And who would be able to pay that? The butcher? The hunter? The cooks over at the inn? Dalimil is home to humble traders, not wealthy lords and ladies. Rule number 1 in any business, Sava: know your customers.
Yes, Forge Master.
That is true.
This is just about passable. But only just. I'd say you're worth keeping around a little longer.
How?
Starting tomorrow, you'll have an anvil of your own.
You just said it's too heavy, it's kinda sharp, and it won't hold that long. How did he pass?
I was wondering,
what are your
you
standards?
do if you were asked to forge a carving knife?
I'd do what I always do. Ask who it's for. If it was for the butcher, I'd make sure it holds an edge. For the hunter, I'd make it as tough as Titan. For the cook, light as a feather. And for the nobleman, I'd make it cost an absolute fortune.
Right, ripping off the
There goes a master.
rich guys.
It looks like congratulations are in order.
Not really.
I couldn't have done it without you. So much for the Forge Master's riddle, though, eh?
I'm quite
The
disappointed.
spirit of Dalimil had nothing to do with limestone or anything much at all. Meaning, I had you run around for no good reason.
Yeah,
You've passed your
that much
test.
was obvious.
That's all that matters. You'll have a forge of your own in no time.
And when I do, I'll craft you the finest carving knife you have ever seen.
Ah well, at least it's done. That was carving out a niche. Right, then on to the next side quest.
Worked for all those years of toil. Every coin I've ever earned is tied up in this place.
Are you all right?
The baths are closed. Leave me be.
Why?
On second thought, perhaps you are just what I need. Might your services be for hire?
That depends on the job.
I'd have you save my business, the baths. The water's turned scalding hot and all the crystals in Dalimil wouldn't be enough to cool it. I've no doubt that my woes stem from the water's source. But I can't go and investigate for fear of my customers thinking I've abandoned the place. I'm bound to these baths in more ways than one. I beg of you. Go to Doznov Terraces. Tell me what you find there.
All right. I'll go and take a look.
Wonderful. It's not far.
But to be honest, if it's too hot, then just tell him to wait a little bit and then go in.
These baths are all that keep me from an ignoble end in a debtor's prison. My livelihood, my very life, is at stake.
Fine, I'm already going. So, alright, so we have to go all the way south and then to the right and all the way up. And then probably there's a fight. And then we will see what comes next.
How do? Trader, are you? Seeking your fortune down in the golden sands of Dalimil? From mercantile stock myself, as it happens. You'd never guess, but I was born just down the road in Dravost. And like me old ma and pa, I've been wandering the world hunting Gilbard's blessing ever since. Reckon I might have found it too. You've heard about the famous healing waters they got round these parts, right?
I do.
Well, I'm thinking, if I can find a little
Well, I
pool of my
did.
own, dress it up a bit, lay on drinks and fancies and whatnot, I'd have a license to mint Gil. Soothing your aches and pains with a grape in your gob and a glass in your hand. There's nothing people wouldn't pay.
Okay. Oh, bombers or bombs. Yeah. So we will have to. This is why it's too hot. There are too many of those, so we have to kill these. All right, then let's get right to it. And there's a chest. Okay. Now let's kill those.
By the flames.
Yeah, there are more. I thought so.
That explains the heat. Out of the frying pan.
Oh god. Okay. That one looks different.
It's over.
Alright. Level up? Maybe? Yes. That's nice.
Let's cool things down a bit. Let's hope it's enough to keep the baths from boiling.
Right, so yeah, there's nothing else to do, nothing else to collect. Then let's go back.
Oh, man! I was hoping we'd be seeing you again. The baths grow more bearable by the moment. It won't be long now before we are back to business as usual.
I'm glad to hear it.
Now, tell me this. What did you find at the terraces? What threatened to make me a pauper?
Not what I expected, that's for certain.
You tell a fine story. That's not to say I don't believe you, though. Creatures made of flame, eh? That's something new to worry about.
Really?
But I burdened you with
In the
my worries
desert?
enough already. Here, a small something by way of thanks. Right. It's high time I got back to work. With a little luck, the day might yet be salvaged.
Okay, done with hot water. 390 renown, nice, nice. The Breath of Inferno for ignition. It reduces ignition cooldown time by 2.2 seconds. Nah. Ew. Skeletite, nice. Gonna need this later, probably again for crafting. Alright then, that's it for the side quests so far. Yeah, there is a dead end, so you can't go further anyways. But before we move on, we're gonna go back home quickly, just to take a look at Hippocrates. But before we do this, actually, there's probably more. Yeah, there's more. Alright, we have to take a look at the reading table, at the state of the realm. We're gonna take a look at the patrons as well, and then over there. So let's start with the patrons, just to see how much renown we will need to get our next prize.
Welcome to the Patron's Whisper. Your benefactors are a generous lot.
Alright, 410, so 20 more to go, then 550, 715, and then there's even more. Okay, good.
Best of luck out there, Sid.
So, Vivian.
Here for another of my lectures.
Sure.
How may I help you today? I have the details here.
So there's something new in here. The Dalimil Inn. The Veluda knights who aided in Hugo Kupka's evacuation from Rosalith yet linger in the deserts of Dalmekia. Some stationed in the Dalimil Inn near the end of the road Drake's Fang, with orders to forestall any who might mean the dominant ill. Their efforts to hinder Clive's progress succeed only in proving that he and his uncle are on the right track. And with a little help from Rosanna Dalimil, they press on to Drake's Fang. So, then let's go back to our place. Right, Desert Alliance by Rosanna. Sid II, I trust you will forgive me for putting you and your dear uncle to the test. I am confident that a man of your position can understand the importance of earning one's trust, especially in times like these. For what it is worth, you now have earned mine, and I can assure you it shall not easily be relinquished. May this be the start of a fruitful relationship. Yup, let's hope so. Right. Hippocrates.
I know. How good it is to see you, Clive. I have a few new notes that might interest you.
Yeah, this shouldn't be too much.
What subject shall we consider today?
Gonna start with persons of interest, as always. Lubor, first encounter. Forge Master of the Briar's Kiss, the finest smithy in Dalimil. Lubor is also the Desert Hare, an ally of Sid's who once went by the name of Rosanna Dalimil. Ferda, Lubor's accomplice who directs the espionage efforts of the Desert Hare's loyal minions from his home in Dalimil. Born poor and turning to banditry at a young age, Ferda was saved from his life of crime by the original Rosanna Dalimil, who gave him a new purpose serving her own, somewhat less felonious endeavors. After Rosanna passed away, he continued to serve Lubor in the same capacity. And Lay of the Land. It's just weird that we don't even see the special bomb, but okay. The Briar's Kiss, Lubor's forge in Dalimil. Its name is known across the Republic for the quality of its steel and the skill of its smith. The Forge Master of the Briar's Kiss is a man of many titles. Forge Master, Nonpareil, Desert Hare, Rosanna Dalimil, and dear friend and ally of the late Stadolphus Talaman. Velcroy Desert, a vast arid wilderness located in the Dalmatian Republic. The further west one travels, the deeper and more forbidding the stands grow, and the more frequent the signs of settlements long since deserted. To the south, water can at least be found, albeit piping hot, a quality which has given rise to Dalimil Inn and the hot springs surrounding it. Despite the forbidding environment, trade ensures a steady flow of traffic north and south, served by various inns along the way. And that's it already.
You're always welcome, Clive.
Right, then let's go back here, and then we're going south all the way to the Jaw.